just were copying the movie and it was not actually marketed as Magic Michael Jordan sequin shoes.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Movie Night with the Youngs. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
And welcome back to another episode. If you are new here, we are two sisters who rewatch movies from our childhood to determine whether they still hold up or they're just nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, this week is Space Jam.
The original.
Yes, the original. Yes, let's make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
1996, directed by Joe Pica, starring Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, Charles Barkley, and Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you a little synopsis of the movie, if you have not seen it, it is a mixture of a real life animation.
Yeah, it's live action and animation.
Yeah, live action animation. A group of alien characters basically steal talent from NBA players, and the Looney Tunes recruit Michael Jordan to help them beat these aliens in a basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the synopsis of the movie.
That is a real movie.
What?
That's a real movie that was actually made.
It is a good movie too. But Space Jam, we are doing movies. I should have said this at the beginning. We are doing movies this month with good soundtracks. So Space Jam has landed in that list of good soundtracks.
Well, we just discussed before we started filming, this is the only reason why it's on this list, is the soundtrack.
Correct. It has a good soundtrack.
It does.
I was even telling Brittany that I really don't remember much of the movie, but I remember the songs.
Me too. I remember there was cartoons.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep, exactly. But nonetheless, we are here doing Space Jam.
Yes.
So,
and we did watch this movie quite a bit growing up. Like we did.
Yeah. I think we watched it a lot, actually.
We watched it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only for the music, but probably for the basketball portion of it.
Yeah, which isn't really in it that much, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah. Because we weren't Looney Tunes fans either, from what I remember.
I think this is, hey, Dad, Michael Jordan's in a movie. I'll buy it for my kids.
Yeah.
Our dad's a basketball coach and fan, so
yeah.
I feel like that's why we watched this movie.
Yeah. So this movie kind of starts with Michael Jordan as a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing basketball with his dad, and it kind of just shows like how much dedication, how much hard work went into, the beginning of his career and his dream of wanting to be a basketball player. Yeah. And he kind of talks with his dad about, going to college, wanting to go to North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And he wants to eventually be in the NBA. Yeah. Why are you making that face?
I'm making the face because I think it was I think this scene is just a way to get some background information out because it's so on the nose. It's like, I'm going to go to North Carolina. Yeah. Then I'm going to play in the NBA. Then I'm going to retire and play baseball just like you, Dad.
Yeah.
I think it was just a way to say this is Michael Jordan's trajectory. Yeah. We don't have time to really go into it. It was a little too on the nose for me.
Yeah, could be. I mean, I'd be curious to know whether he really thought that when he was a child. Probably. All those steps.
Maybe the first two, but retiring and playing baseball, I doubt.
Yeah. So that's good. That's a good point there.
Yeah.
So as they introduce, Michael's character, they're also introducing the aliens characters.
Yeah. But wait, before you get to you missed the first big song, I Believe I Can Fly.
By R. Kelly. Yes.
Yeah. Amazing song.
It is.
The artist.
Yeah. Not so much. But yeah, that is funny because as soon as that song came on in the beginning of the movie, I started singing. I knew all the words and everything.
Yeah, and I feel like most songs or movies, they'll take out the words and it will just be the instrumental. This is full blown. Yeah. I Believe I Can Fly. I Believe I Can. They are really just cutting and splicing songs in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. And the song comes out throughout the movie. It comes back several times in the movie.
Yeah, it does. It does. Mm-hmm.
So it's one of them. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, and then in the opening credits after that, it's the Space Jam theme song plays the whole song.
Yeah.
We didn't need the full 5-minute welcome to the Space Jam, come on and jam.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
It's a good song.
It set a tone for this movie that I don't think the movie cashed in on. I feel like it really set for this, like, yeah, action, energy, come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Like, really got this, like, party going, like, we're gonna get hyped, and then I don't think it lived up to that nature, but please continue.
Yeah, yeah. That could be. That could be too. Nonetheless, it's a good song.
Yeah.
And then so transitioning over, they introduce these alien characters who are on planet Moron
Mountain.
Moron Mountain, yeah, which is I don't really like the choice of the name there. But anyways, um they're they're alien characters who basically live on this planet that has like a huge amusement park that people are no longer coming to this amusement park. It's losing its popularity, so they're trying to figure out ways to bring people to their planet again.
Yeah.
And so they get the idea of having, they need to be more loony is how they explain it. And they want to bring the Looney Tunes back to the planet.
Yeah. Which way I love that Danny DeVito is the voice of their leader, Swackhammer.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny DeVito.
I could tell as soon as that character started speaking, I was like, oh, that's Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he's got a very recognizable voice.
Yeah, yeah. He does a really good job too.
He does.
Yeah. But they want to bring the Looney Tunes back to this planet. And so that's basically the task that I can't even remember the character's name, the boss character.
Swackhammer.
Yeah,
he's the only one that is named, I think.
Oh, that's true. He basically instructs them to bring them back, and so they're on this task to bring them back. So you kind of have, I feel like you have two stories going on. It's like the alien and the tunes, and then it flashes back to like Michael and his character. It keeps going back and forth until the stories merge later.
Yeah.
Which is a little, yeah. I find it a little confusing, but
it is confusing. And it's also, again, because you spend so much time in one place, you don't get what everybody thinks this movie is Michael Jordan playing basketball with these cartoon characters. They don't actually do that for quite a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Because in the beginning, they go very much into him to the point of retiring from basketball and choosing to play baseball.
Yeah, which, I mean, I have in my notes, like, I just have in my notes here, athletic prowess does not always translate. Like, Michael Jordan's the best basketball player of all time. He was not a good baseball player. And it does show where, like, he does poke fun of it himself because everyone here is just like, oh, Michael Jordan, like, even like the guy at the game, like the catcher is telling him like, oh, it's going to be a curveball. Don't swing. Oh, it's going to be this. Don't swing. Like they're trying to help him be great, but it's just not translating. Like he is not a great baseball player.
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote that in my notes too, how the other teammates were helping him play and they continue to encourage him like, oh, that was good. That was good looking strikeout.
Like, yeah. You struck out real well.
Like, what does that mean?
Good job.
But that kind of is a thing that I wrote in my notes too. It brings up an interesting point. Like I'm curious to know why they chose to bring him in that point of his career and not just while he was playing for the Bulls. Like I don't even know why they would bring the baseball part of it into the movie.
Well, but that's the thing is I actually thought that too. Maybe we should have done a little research because that happened in real life. He retired from the Bulls, went to go play Major League Baseball, retired from that, and then went back to the Bulls. So I wonder if it was just something where it was like, you know, maybe they just thought this is the only way we can get him to play play with the cartoon characters is that he doesn't have he doesn't have, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah. I mean that it kind of like what you're on to something like he now has the time to play. I don't know.
Or like maybe him going back to they're trying to explain that him going back to the NBA was spurred on because he played with these cartoon characters and he got like the love of basketball back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting either way. I feel like they could have cut it out and it would have been just fine.
Yeah, it could have just been like summer. Like he didn't have to be a baseball player. He could have just been like on the off season and played.
Yeah, exactly. But they kind of they go into that whole story of it. And in the meantime, they're also flipping back to the aliens and the Looney Tunes where we all know our core Looney Tunes group, Bugs Bunny,
Wait,
Daffy Duck.
before you get to them, I think it's funny that they go from like planet Moron through Earth into the core of Earth, and then that's where the Looney Tunes live. Is
Yeah,
like
they're on the
in our
other
Earth
side.
core. Yeah, it's such a weird like we just traveled through space into Earth into the core. There's the Looney Tunes.
Yeah. I guess
It
that's
was
where
weird.
Toontown is.
I guess so.
But they go through introducing all the, Looney Tune characters that we all grew up with. Like I said, we didn't really watch, we weren't into Looney Tunes, but we
Really.
still know all the characters.
Yeah, they're
Um,
iconic.
yeah, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. Who's
Mhm.
the pig? See, I
Porky
don't even know
Pig,
their names.
Elmer Fudd, Wile
Yeah.
E. Coyote, which I think is interesting because, like, when we said earlier, starring Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny literally does get second billing in this movie, which I think
Oh,
is really
really?
interesting to say. Like, Michael Jordan at the time was probably the most recognized celebrity in the world,
Mhm.
and then second billing goes to a cartoon character
Yeah.
as the character. Like,
Yeah.
just goes to show like how big the Looney Tunes also are. Like you said, we didn't watch them, but we know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. And the aliens come to Toontown and they try to take back the Looney Tunes with them and bring them back as they say slaves.
Yeah, that was a bit much,
Yeah.
especially
They're
later, but
yeah, they're going to be their slaves.
yeah.
And obviously Looney Tunes, they're not having it. So go ahead. Are you going to say something?
I was just gonna say, I like these little Moron Mountain aliens. I thought they
They're
were
pretty funny.
so funny,
Yeah.
especially the blue one that's like, "Dude, can we
Yeah.
stay here with you
He's like
guys?"
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's like,
then
"Oh,
there's like an orange one and he always talks in a baby voice.
yeah, he's like this."
Yeah. It's really funny.
Yeah,
They're pretty cute.
they're pretty cute.
Um, but Bugs Bunny decides to say, "No, you're not taking us back, and we're gonna challenge you to a basketball game."
Mhm,
And I think in his mind, he's thinking because they're like little short aliens, there's no way they're gonna beat them in a game of basketball.
and they don't know what basketball is.
Exactly. So they decide to do it, but little do they know, I mean, they've got superpowers.
Yeah, the aliens do.
Exactly. And they end up stealing real NBA talent from real NBA players.
They go to,
So
like, an NBA game.
yeah. The Knicks Suns game, I think it was.
Yeah, which in my mind is just another excuse for the movie to be like, "Look, here we're doing, like, cartoon and live action because they have them, like, in a trench coat and, like, the trench coat's open and
Yeah.
they're all in there.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny because I think they hear the announcer say, like, "Oh, Barkley's killing them," and they open up their coat and they're like, "Where?
Someone's
Who?
killing
Him?"
someone.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, "Someone's killing someone," but then my favorite part is in he's like, "There! He's the killer!"
Yeah. Yeah.
And they think that's really great, so they, like, go for Charles.
Yeah. Yeah. But they end up stealing the talent from these players.
Big players.
Yeah. So Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bowe.
Yeah. Some
I
other
can't
2
remember
guys
the
that we
other
don't
2.
recognize, yeah. Other 2 guys that were there.
Yeah. I don't know who they were, I'm sorry.
One of them yep, don't know, moving on.
Anyways, um, so NBA players. So they have these talents. They basically grow, obviously, with the
Mhm,
talent. Now they're these 6, 7 feet tall alien characters that
yeah.
obviously are going to beat the Looney Tunes,
They're too big, though. Like, they're called the Mon they or the
the
Looney Tunes call them the
Monstars.
Monstars,
Yeah,
but they're, like, huge. Like, I don't think that they'd actually physically do well on the basketball court, they're just too big.
yeah. They also call themselves the Mean Team.
Do they?
Yeah, he's like, you've heard of the Dream Team? Well, we're the Mean Team. You don't
Mm,
remember?
I don't think that that's something that they carry on into the rest of the movie. But sure,
Well, I remember it. So,
cool.
so now the Looney Tunes are basically they have an issue because they can't play baseball. They can't play basketball.
Mhm,
So they enlist the one and only Michael Jordan,
mhm. They
which
steal him
I've
during a golf game.
exactly. I was just going to say, which in the middle of a random golf game with Larry Bird and Bill Murray,
Why is Bill Murray here?
I don't know, but he adds a funny character to it. So it's okay.
He does. I think he says later on in the movie that, like, the producer was his friend.
Oh.
But, like, I always just think he's such a random like, I forgot he was in this movie. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Bill Murray's here."
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's hilarious. But it's kind
Mhm.
of funny because his character does randomly, like, wanna be part of the NBA.
Yeah, well, because the NBA at the time, the NBA players getting their, like, talent stolen,
Yeah.
they think it's like a virus throughout the NBA and other
Yeah.
players don't wanna play and the commissioner doesn't know what to do, teams are shutting down, so Bill thinks that this is his chance, like,
Yeah.
all these actual real players aren't playing, now they need me, I can actually play because 'cause they'll be desperate.
Mhm,
He's
mhm.
trying to get, like, Larry Bird to give him pointers and, like, trying to
Yeah.
get Michael Jordan to be like, "Yeah, like, I'll vouch for you."
Yeah. Which is just random, but it's
Maybe
okay.
that's why he's here.
Yeah. So they're in the middle of their golf game, and Michael, takes his shot. Is that how
Yeah.
you say it in golf?
Hits his
Takes
ball?
hits I don't know. I'm
Nah.
not a golfer.
Eh.
Sorry. Um, and gets it close to the hole, but then obviously they're under the ground and they're moving that ball so it goes into
The
the hole.
Looney Tunes are under you gotta be specific.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny, and I think it's Daffy Duck that helps him,
Yeah, Staffy.
if I remember.
It is.
Purposely so when he goes in to grab his ball, they
Mhm.
end up grabbing him and sucking him down to Toontown.
Mhm.
And lo and behold,
Toontown
is it Toontown?
Toontown is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is the same
Oh!
Toontown, it's the same thing. It's a live action with cartoons. Like, it's the
Yeah.
same thing, but I think Toontown is specific to that.
Oh, well, then what's
I
Looney
think this is
Tunes?
just because this is only Looney Tunes. In Roger Rabbit, it's like every cartoon
Oh,
there.
that's true, that's
This
true,
one is just Looney Tunes.
that's
So,
true. That shows you how much I watch Looney Tunes.
mhm, just Looney
I'm just
Tunes
merging the movies together.
where they live.
Yeah. And, Michael Jordan wakes up and he's surrounded by all the Looney Tunes.
Mhm.
And Bugs Bunny basically tells him the story. There's these aliens who I don't think at that point, though, he says that they've stolen their talent. Like,
No,
he
because
doesn't know that yet.
no, he just says, "We need your help to win because they're really good."
Yeah. And he's asking, Michael Jordan for help.
Mhm,
Can you help us win?
mhm.
And he's really hesitant because he doesn't play basketball anymore.
Yeah, he's a baseball player now.
Yeah. But eventually, he succumbs and he helps them play.
Mhm.
And there's another sequences of really good songs.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Are you not a fan of this movie? I'm getting the feeling that you don't like this movie.
No, it's not that I'm not a fan of it. It's just honestly just hearing it back, it just sounds so confusing, and I'm like, "When does this happen?" When like, it has no reason to be so confusing, but it is quite confusing. Or, like, I guess the timeline of everything feels very confusing to me.
Yeah. Like the actual story?
Yeah, because it's just like you said, like, it's so back and forth between, like, here we are in Looney Tune land, here we are, like, looking at now the basketball players going through all their stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Continue.
It's true, but the music makes up for it, so it's good.
True. Yeah.
Um, so one of the, like, conditions that Michael's gonna help him is he sends Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, they have to go back and get his North Carolina shorts
Mhm.
and his shoes.
Mhm.
And I think his bag or something like that. But he says he wore those shorts under his Bulls jersey every game.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Probably. I mean, I feel like that's not something that they would just throw in for kicks and giggles.
Yeah, I forgot to Google it
Yeah.
after I watched this movie, but I was gonna see if it was true.
Yeah.
Um, so another back and forth, obviously, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, they go back up to Michael's house, run into Michael's kids, who
Just
don't seem concerned that there's cartoon
no.
characters running around and that their dad's missing.
Also, stellar acting of these, and I mean that sarcastic. Like the little kid there, like I think Bug says, like, "Oh, your dad's gonna help us beat the Monstars. We got to keep him, but don't tell anyone." And one of the kids is like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like he's so, yeah. I mean, like if I don't know, one if Dad got stolen by cartoon characters, I want to go. Like I wouldn't be like, okay, cool, Dad's gonna help y'all. That's fine. Like I'd be trying to get after them.
Yeah, yeah.
Immediately.
But I
But
think that could also play to Looney Tunes, like, we know these characters as kids.
yeah. Oh,
So
you
they're
trust
coming to your
them?
house. Yeah, like, we we don't think anything's wrong.
That's true. I will say I prefer so much the cartoons in the live action world than live action people in the cartoon world, like looks wise.
I
Like
agree.
them walking through Michael Jordan's house looks so clean and so sharp, or even them, the aliens at the basketball game looked so good, but then like Michael Jordan in the cartoon world, just like it looks a bit off.
I agree.
It wasn't as genius as I remember it being.
Yeah, I agree. And then that one little bulldog,
Charles.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah, which I'm like, is he named after Charles Barkley? Is that a joke?
Oh, could be.
But Michael Jordan's name is Charles. Also, I think it's so funny that they like try to treat Michael Jordan as like a normal person. Like Michael Jordan does not live in like this neighborhood in a house
waving to his neighbors.
Yeah, that everybody can drive by and it's like super small. Like he lives on a compound with gates. Like, no.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to make him a normal person. He is not.
That's true.
But sure.
That is very true. So they go back, they get all his gear, and basically Michael's gonna help them train. And again, like you said, the confusing, it flashes back and forth between him training the Looney Tunes and then the NBA players going through like a series of exams trying to figure out what's wrong with them.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, since we are talking about music, like the song Basketball Jones comes on, it's really sad. It's like, I got a Basketball Jones, ooh, baby, ooh. But I got sad because like Charles Barkley goes to like a pickup game, like a bunch of girls, and it's like, hey, can I play? And then the girls show him up and they're like quite mean to him. But I'm also just like, are you guys trying to say that like Charles Barkley is so bad that a bunch of girls beat him and kicked him off the court? Like, again, like we talked about in Sports Month, playing into these stereotypes that girls can't be good at basketball. You know, like I just didn't really like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the hospital scene of all of them getting the exams was funny. Especially when they're walking. I don't know if you noticed it. It's my movie eye, but they're all walking.
Like they're on a cart.
No, just Muggsy's on a cart.
Oh.
Because he's so small. His steps are way smaller than everybody else's. But he's trying real hard to make it look like he's walking, but he just looks like he's gliding.
Because it looked like they're all like on a cart. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. But it is, like you said, a little heartbreaking to see because they're legitimately trying to figure out what happened to them.
They're like going to therapy.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley is praying to God he'll never date Madonna again.
Yeah. He's like, I'll never trash talk again.
Yeah. I'll never date Madonna again. Yeah. They're going through a lot to get their talent back.
And even at one point, they end up closing down like no more NBA games anymore.
Yeah.
Until they figure out what's happening.
Yeah. And they even go to see a psychic who tells them the truth. She's like, I see Bugs Bunny. And they're like, you're a crackpot. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
This is what's happening.
Which I don't see all of them going to a psychic together, but whatever.
I love that they went. It's a nice team bonding moment. Like all these rivals coming together to figure out what's wrong with them. I thought it was sweet.
Yeah.
They had a support group.
Yeah. I mean, in the meantime, they are, training with Michael Jordan, which I find funny because Richard Simmons does a little cameo with his workout tape.
Yeah, they're like doing anything they can but playing basketball, except for when Lola comes in.
Yeah. Who is the only one that can play.
Yeah, and also, is she a real Looney Tune or was she only made for this movie? Drawn.
I don't know.
I've never seen her anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Lola Bunny.
It's okay. She's a girl and she can play, so.
Yeah, but there's some inappropriateness with Bugs, but all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, they essentially are ready to play this game now against the aliens.
Are they?
Well, as ready as they can be.
This is what bothers me about the movie. They train for like a day and they don't even really play.
True. I mean, they don't play real basketball.
Yeah, like we basically just hear I love how this is in soundtrack month and we're not talking about any of the songs. We hear during this like practice sequence when Michael actually goes into like, let me see if I still got it. Seals Fly Like an Eagle.
Oh yeah.
Fly like an eagle.
Yeah.
Again, full song.
Yeah.
All the lyrics.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. It's probably to have like some time pass by.
I guess so.
But they go to, play this championship game against these aliens. And I forgot to talk about Michael's the other character. It's not Michael's
Stan.
personal assistant, but
he's
like hired to take care of Michael.
Yeah, he's the PR guy from the baseball team that like was told, yeah, take care of Michael, and then he just goes above and beyond his duty to take care of him.
Yeah, yeah. And he eventually finds his way down to Looney Tunes and wants to be put on the team. But Michael's not having it, and he's just a bench warmer.
Yeah, but he says that he can help him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his name's Stan.
Yeah.
He's from, I don't remember what the character's name is, but he was like in Jurassic Park. He always plays kind of a neurotic, annoying person.
Yeah. I only remember him from Jurassic Park. Like, that's what sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah, but they play this game, and it's a typical, Looney Tunes game where everything's very exaggerated.
Yeah. The traffic getting into the arena.
Yeah. Yeah. But they can, like stretch their arms, they can jump high, they smash each other, they don't die. Like, the typical Looney Tune characters.
Yeah, which is at the beginning of the game starts my favorite song, Pump Up the Jam.
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your beat is pumping and the pot is jumping. Everybody. Continue.
Are you going to sing the whole song for us?
I was going to, but then I freaked out that I hesitated. I hesed.
Because you forgot the words?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I feel like the actual game itself goes according to all sports movies, where they're losing. Yeah, they're losing, and then halftime rolls around, and they get a little pep in their step. And in this case, they pretend that they're drinking, Michael Jordan's secret juice.
Yeah, which they sold as like candy after this movie came out. Do you remember that?
Oh, really?
It was like powdered sugar. It was literally just powdered sugar. And I remember getting it because Dominic and I, we would do it, or like we'd have it in the little thing and we'd put it in our mouth and we go glug, 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 like they did in the movie, because that's what it sounded like. It was like glug, 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 glug. Yeah.
And it's a liquid?
It wasn't a liquid. It was like a powdered, it was like pixie stick dust.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it came in like, because I remember it was like a heart-shaped thing and it had Lola. Or maybe it was just Space Jam candy and Dominic and I treated it like Michael's secret juice, which is also I'm not a fan of that name. But I remember it was like heart-shaped and it had Lola on the front of it and Bugs on the back.
Interesting.
Methinks we just were copying the movie and it was not actually marketed as Magic Michael Jordan secret juice. Well, goes to show how much as us little kids it impacted us that we were, because I remember we go glug 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 and like
where was I?
I don't know. I wonder if he remembers that. I'll have to ask him. But we definitely did that. 100%. 100%. Like I've been waiting to talk about that for this episode. 100%.
Oh my gosh. Interesting. Yeah. Children.
Yeah.
But and then they drink the secret juice. It's all in their heads. They come out though. They're all of a sudden a better team.
Yeah. Doing their typical movies where they're doing their Looney Tune tricks to get goals or to get baskets.
No, and they're able to they're able to catch up, really.
Yeah.
And then, it comes to a point to where their leader, he gets mad and tells, Michael Jordan that, I don't even remember. No, Michael Jordan's the ones that challenges them.
Well, he says, well, no, it's because because he realizes that Michael Jordan is now the best player.
Says, why didn't they get him?
Yeah, why didn't they get him? But also the new deal is now if the Monstars win, Michael Jordan becomes their slave. Yeah. And if the Looney Tunes win, I guess the deal was still that they just go away.
Yeah.
But Michael agreed.
As you said, the whole slave aspect was very intense because they have a scene where he's chained and it's
well, and I'm also just like for a kids movie to even just use the word slave, like I mean, if you still want the same concept, why not? You're going to be our entertainment at the amusement park. You're going to work for us for free, or like and you can never leave. Like, there's ways of saying it, but they literally are as like, you're my slave.
Yeah. Yeah. Chains and all. Like, yeah.
Chains and all. Also, I love how Michael Jordan says yes to this without considering his family.
Yeah. If he ends up getting stuck there.
Yeah. Like, he has so much confidence in these Looney Tune guys who have literally done nothing that he's like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he believes in his team.
Sure.
But at this point in that conversation, this is when he figures out that they stole it from the NBA players.
Yeah.
The talent.
Yeah. Because Swackhammer tells them.
Yeah. So, they...
Oh, that's what the deal is. Sorry, you're right. That's what the trade-off is. It's not that they go away. It's that Swackhammer has to give Michael his friend's talent back.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Yeah. I thought that's what you said.
I did not say that.
Oh.
I just said that the Monstars leave.
Oh. Yeah. That shows how much I'm paying attention to you. But they end up, they play again and they get really close and they're down by one basket, as all sports movies do.
With like 4 seconds to go.
Yeah. And Bugs Bunny basically says a key thing to Michael and saying that, like, you basically can be a Looney Tune too. Like, everything we can do, you can do.
Yeah.
And, Michael Jordan, of course, does his famous move and...
You're missing a key element, Nicole.
What?
Bill Murray shows up randomly.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
Randomly, Bill Murray's made it to Toontown.
Yeah. He came in. That's when he says that one line that you're talking about. He knows the producer or something.
Well, yeah, I have it down in my notes where it's like, at first it was like, nobody questions that Bill Murray is now here. And then some guy was like, wait a minute. Or Daffy says like, how did you get here? And Bill Murray was like, oh, I know the producer.
Yeah.
And a teamster came and got me, which I was just like, that's so inside baseball. Like, if you didn't know how film and TV works, like, he's just saying like a driver came and picked me up. Like, that was that easy.
Yeah. And they actually let him play.
Because they're down a teammate or a team player or a player.
Teammate?
Yeah. They're down a player. Yeah. They need him.
And he plays, and he's his typical, like, his character in this movie reminds me of his character in Ghostbusters. It's very similar.
He's just annoying and a distraction. So yeah.
Yeah. But he does end up playing with them. And Michael Jordan, he makes the winning shot, obviously.
By stretching his arm.
Stretches his arm like a tune, yeah. And in the end, Looney Tunes wins. Bill Murray realizes that he doesn't want to be an NBA player anymore because his body just hurts.
Yeah, after that one play.
Yeah. And they get to take the talent back from the NBA players. And the aliens at this point, even though they lost their, talent, they stand up to their boss.
Yeah.
And shun him away, banish him, basically. And they end up staying in with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And Michael takes... Yeah. And then Michael goes back and, they're all having their pickup game. Yeah. Who are those other two players? We need to figure that out, but...
It's fine.
And he gives them their talent back. Which everybody wins. They get their talent back. Looney Tunes wins. It's the end of the movie. They don't really explain what Michael does after. No, Michael returns to the NBA.
Yeah, he goes back to the NBA.
Yeah. And that's really the end of the movie.
Did we like this movie? This episode feels different.
It does.
It feels, again, we picked it for music. We barely spoke about the music, but the music's there. Again, I think that's what I was saying. Like, the soundtrack does not live up to the hype of this movie to me.
Yeah.
It didn't live up to like the energy, to the like, it's going to be a huge battle. It just didn't do that. Like, this movie, I think it's actually only like 93 minutes. Like, it's very quick.
Yeah. I think the same too, because going into this, I was like, yeah, Space Jam. Because I remember so much of the music.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie's so good. And then now that we're talking about it, I'm like,
Yeah, like, it didn't...
The movie's so good, though.
I mean, I have notes, but even looking through my notes, though, it's so stretched out that, like, I was like, oh, I guess I just, I didn't gravitate it towards it as much as the other ones we picked, or even remember a lot from it, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, even well, even, like, trying to explain it back now, I feel like is difficult for me.
Yeah. Hmm. I guess
Interesting.
that but I guess that's the point of this podcast. How did this movie affect us? It kind of
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think so. Yeah, true. But I mean, that's a perfect time for our
yeah.
question. Like,
Shoot, go. Give it to me.
do you think this movie still holds up, or is it just nostalgia?
It's just nostalgia. It's just nostalgia.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say this is gonna be my first one to say nostalgia, but I think this one is nostalgia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, I remember like, again, I remember the music. I remember those amazing Toon Squad jerseys
Oh
that
yeah,
when the new one came out, they, like, reissued and it was a
yeah.
hit.
Mhm.
I remember the novelty of, like, live action and animation, but, like, the movie itself, eh,
Yeah,
eh,
yeah.
you know?
Which, I mean, this is not an episode about the new one, but I feel like I felt the same one about the new one that I feel
Yeah.
about this one, so
It could just be yeah, maybe it's just the or the topic, the subject, I don't know. Just
yeah. It
think
was a
it's
good
just
thought, but
nostalgia.
this is the first episode where both of us have agreed on nostalgia.
It's
It's a
a movie
first.
night with the youngs first.
Yep, it's first. However, songs still hold up, so
Yes, great soundtrack.
yeah,
Pump
yeah,
up the jam, get it.
yeah. But with that being said,
Mhm.
it's an interesting turn of events, and
Interesting.
but like you said, that's how podcasts go once we review them. But that was the end of Space Jam, and we really appreciate you tuning in and watching us on YouTube. Same as everyone on the platforms, we really do appreciate it. And next week we are doing The Wiz
Yeah, The
with Diana Ross
Wiz.
and Michael Jackson,
Woo!
which I'm sure we will be way more lively
If we have to be. If
on
not,
that one.
we can't start 2023 off in this slump.
Exactly.
We must get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. But be sure to check us over on Instagram. Be sure to watch the movie The Wiz.
Mhm.
Stay tuned with us next week where you will see us talking about that movie. We are doing best soundtracks. Why
Mhm.
are you
I thought
laughing?
you were gonna be like, watch The Wiz. Stay tuned with us next week to watch The Wiz. We will be back again with The Wiz.
I think they understand we're doing The Wiz
They
next.
understand we're doing The Wiz. Yeah.
But we hope everyone has a good week and we will see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.